Well, it was definitely a chilly night. There was some frost on all my stuff in the morning, and I was nice and warm though. The sleeping bag did very, very well. But there was a little bit of high clouds out this morning, and they lit up a little bit at sunrise. And so my thoughts are that the weather is going to be similar to what it was yesterday, where it's going to be mostly sunny in the morning, and then as the afternoon progresses, there'll be more and more clouds, and maybe even a chance of rain like it happened yesterday. So I'll definitely be prepared for that. But there's this cool little tree that I found yesterday morning, and I even set my camera up, even though I didn't show it on video, just to kind of try composition on it. But the light just wasn't really ideal, but I think it'd be a sort of a morning reflected light kind of shot. So my goal is to maybe see about photographing that tree if the weather cooperates, which means blue skies, not a lot of clouds. But we'll see what happens. So I went ahead and set up my camera with my normal lens to photograph that tree right there. I'm basically just centering the tree in the composition. I have that nice sandstone there kind of in the foreground. And then from the camera's angle, that light colored area there is actually gonna be back behind the tree to help separate it from the background. My light source is gonna be this wall right here. As the sunlight, you can see it's already hitting it, but as that sun hits even more of that wall, I'm gonna have even more reflected light kind of spill in the scene here. It's already pretty good, but if I give it another, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, I think I'll have the ability to take a pretty decent photo. This will be my second to last sheet of Velvia 50, so I have to definitely make sure that I shoot it at just the right time, because on the way in this morning I did see another scene that I think would be good for a Velvia 50. Then after that, I'm left with Ektar, so I have 4 sheets of Ektar after that, and I like to reserve that for the high contrast scenes because it's just easier to scan that way. But I'll give it just a little more time here, and then we'll see what I can get. So after making my exposure, I decided I'm just gonna leave my camera here, because even though it's gotten a little overcast, there still is a chance that those clouds could blow over. I still do have a bigger window for the reflected light, even though that would mean me exposing my final sheet of Velvia 50 on this same scene. But I do like the scene. I like the composition I found, and I'm pretty happy with what I found. So if I gotta do that, I gotta do that. I still have 4 sheets of Ektar I could use, even though I usually reserve those for higher contrast scenes. But I'm just gonna wander around a little bit and see if I can find anything else while I keep an eye on the light. Well, I don't know if I should be happy or not, because the overcast skies are kind of going away and the sun's coming out, which means I'm gonna have an even better window for light. But it also means exposing my last sheet of Velvia 50. But I think I gotta do it because this is a shot I found. I kind of know it's gonna be a pretty decent photo. So I'm gonna wait until the light that is hitting right over there, that light's gonna sweep closer towards me, which is gonna send even more reflected light into the scene back behind me there. So I think it's worth it. I think it's worth using my last sheet of film on this, because I can still shoot Ektar. And based on the way I'm talking about Ektar, you'd think that I don't like Ektar, but I have a love-hate relationship with Ektar. There's sometimes what's absolutely beautiful works out so well. At other times it's kind of hard to scan, so it kind of leaves the shot to chance a little bit. That being said, some of my favorite shots in similar canyons to these were shot on Ektar, so it's not a bad thing. But I think it would be good to definitely make sure that I can get this photo here nailed with good light and a good exposure. And I think the skies are going to cooperate. After packing up my camera, I decided to head up canyon to check out this other cool little side canyon. And it looked like it'd be very promising based on the satellite imagery. There was all kinds of twists and turns of the canyon and full-size cottonwood trees, and sure enough, it's absolutely gorgeous. And I think it would make for a really good subject, but here's the problem. as soon as I packed up my camera, the overcast skies came right back again. And even though it's beautiful in there, I know it'll look even better if there's some reflected light. And I don't think that's gonna happen today. And originally I was planning on hiking out of this area tomorrow morning. But I think that it might be more productive if I hike out of here today, just because I'm also looking at the bigger picture in terms of my next location, which is Capitol Reef. And today is Wednesday, and tomorrow, Thursday, is gonna be probably the last opportunity to have plentiful campsites, because otherwise the weekend crowd starts showing up the day after that. So overcast skies don't make for really good photos, but it does make for good hiking weather. And I have quite a hike ahead of me today. It's about 6 miles or so. I'm gonna be heading up elevation quite a bit, somewhere around 1,000 feet. But if I can get out of here in a few hours, get back to my truck, I can probably head over to Capitol Reef and either grab an official site or maybe grab a sort of unofficial site. But we'll see. I think that's the plan. I think that's a way of being most productive here, because these overcast skies are kind of killers of reflected light. Even though I had originally planned to be here for quite a while longer, the plans have to stay flexible. And gotta look at where there's gonna be more opportunity. So I was very happy to scout this area, expose some film, but now it's time to hit the trail and see what happens. Well, I've made it out of the river valley, and now I'm heading up a side canyon to get out of here. Once I climb a couple hundred feet or so, it's gonna be some pretty rough terrain as far as just slick rock, sand, junipers. So this is it for the lush scenery, but some pretty good views coming up here. Be able to see a little better about what the sky is doing. It's still pretty overcast. It flirts at times with some blue sky, but definitely not good for reflected light. It's always tough to give a sense of perspective when coming here and going on these hikes, but just to let you guys know where I came from this morning. It's way out over there. It's about 1,000 feet below where I am right now, and about 6 miles, so that's quite a ways to hike, but I'm pretty close to the trailhead right now, so definitely looking forward to getting back to my truck, get myself a absolutely delicious peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Let's go. I just drove past the Devil's Garden, and my trip odometer read 666.6 miles, and it was 66 degrees outside. It's a good sign, right? Because, yeah. So I've arrived at my campsite for the night. So I'm just outside Capitol Reef. I didn't even bother trying to go in and see if I could find a campsite, just because I'm pretty sure they're all gonna be full. But as you guys might hear, it's getting a little windy, getting a little rainy out there. And what's interesting, the whole truck is shaking actually. What's interesting is that this is a storm that was originally forecasted for Friday, and it's coming through with quite a vengeance right now, I gotta say. It's coming through on Wednesday evening, so I'm very, very glad that I actually hiked out of the canyon a little bit earlier than anticipated, because even though when I was standing on the rim of the canyon looking down in there and it was sunny and really good for reflected light, I definitely wouldn't have wanted to get caught in this. I would have been okay, but it's just much more enjoyable when you're hiking a long distance if it's not stormy, if it's sunny, if you have good visibility. But I made myself some dinner here, and I'm just gonna hang out here for the night and then head over into the main Capitol Reef area, grab a campsite tomorrow. But I'm sure it's gonna be a windy and stormy night, but we'll see y'all tomorrow morning.
enjoy this ad-free content and want to help me live my dream, a voluntary contribution of just $24 a year helps keep my gas tank full and my film freezer stocked. For more information on how to support me and my work, please visit the donation section of my website at benhorn.com/donate. I also have books and prints available on my website. You can find a direct link down below in the show notes. Thanks in advance for your support.